XRP is at 50 cents. Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. While you're here, smash those likes and hit the follow button. It's a free and great way to support the channel. But XRP is at 50 cents. The highest that it was 53 cents. Getting close to that 51 mark. Do I believe we are going to go higher or lower? I don't know. But this news is probably going to make more utility kick in. We got on the XRP scan, as you can see, these are all the amendments that are trying to take place by way of voting. Of course, we got the infamous clawback feature that allows banks and financial institutions to claw back features if they believe a digital wallet has been sanctioned, or if they believe that there was theft involved. You can now claw back the XRPL and XRP and take it and put it back in the original XRP wallet. That's kind of like a refund. In order for CBDCs to be placed on the XRPL and be utilized for private or wholesale publications, this would have to be done, and this will be implemented in approximately 8 days, 3 hours. Now, the AMM, also known as the automatic market maker, that will give XRP holders, including you and myself and others, passive income by way of XOS 30D, where you become your own baking system. And look, we are at 80%. We're getting closer and closer to a yes. Look at that. Passive income is on the way. Now, the Ripple consensus is a little different. Validators have to approve it, and this has been going on since October, I believe. So we're getting closer and closer, and I believe as utility starts to pick up for XRP and the XRPL, we're going to see more changes happen very rapidly, and I can guarantee you they're going to be more yeses than nos. Moving on. All right, we got some breaking news. The SEC government has just filed a brief in the Debtbox case saying that it intends to dismiss the lawsuit against the company. The SEC is choosing dismissal. Right, I don't say this because this is actually very beneficial for the Ripple and SEC case, rather than face possible sanctions from the judge for misleading the court in order to secure restraining order and asset freeze against Debtbox. Folks, we live in a world where higher government entities that are seeking legal force on the crypto ecosystem, where they're getting caught misleading the judge and the entire court system, right? We've seen it time and time again. We've seen it in the Ripple and SEC case. We've seen it in the Ripple and the library case. And now we're seeing it in the SEC and Debtbox case. Only this time, this judge is catching them in their lies, catching them in their deceit, right? They're throwing up Hail Marys right now, hoping that they would catch it in the final touchdown when it comes to the SEC in these cases. Their cases, their regulatory regimes, when it comes to trying to rule crypto, it's starting to get taken away by Congress because our voices are starting to be heard. Changes are starting to be implemented. Like, it took Grayscale to sue the SEC because they would not allow them to convert their GPTC into a Bitcoin spot ETF. And we see what's happening currently. They end up passing 11 Bitcoin spot ETFs. And we saw what happened with the Ripple and SEC lawsuit. The judge deemed XRP not a security in itself, and probably more than likely may dismiss the Ripple and SEC case because they're getting caught in their lies. The Coinbase and SEC are, Ripple and Binance? I actually forgot which one it was, but the SEC has their hands in a lot of lawsuits and they're losing, and they see it. Because what is it? First they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they fight you, then you win. We are at the stages of the SEC fighting us, and it's almost over. And we've seen what's been happening. We've been winning every single time. There's corruption, and they're very scared. If you don't believe me, let's take a listen to one of the SEC's Hester Purse. Listen to this. Let me turn it up.
Now we're in a bit of an awkward position because Congress has expressed a clear interest in stepping into this space and has suggested that maybe the SEC will not be the primary regulator for much of this stuff. And so it's a little bit harder to do now. But I think whatever we do or Congress does, the point should be, let's bear in mind what the objective is, which is to make sure there's enough information out there for people to make decisions about what they want to do, but also to preserve the ability of people to innovate and think about how to do things in new ways, not to try to force everything that's happening in the crypto world into the traditional finance mold, which it's not necessarily the best mold for all of these things. So I hope that we'll turn over a new leaf in this area and take a fresh start. Now we're in a bit.
Just like Jack the Rippler said that the current SEC rep by the name of Hester Purse just mentioned that the SEC will not be the primary regulator for crypto. And that's what it's starting to feel, and that's what it's starting to look like, because they're trying to create case after case after case after case, hoping that they're going to eventually win something. The only thing that they really won is bankrupting LBRY, which that in itself shows you that they attack the smaller players first. Well, they tried to attack Ripple initially, but they didn't realize that Ripple had a whole community and XRP had a whole community behind them to stop them. And they thought that they were gonna attack a big fish. But when you attack a big fish in crypto, you have other people behind it, waiting for them to mess up. And that's exactly what they did. They messed up. And now they open up the door to use the Ripple and SEC case for every single SEC lawsuit that the SEC tries to file against somebody in the crypto ecosystem. And then brings the question, well, if the SEC is losing all these cases, should we go back and re-examine and reopen the case against Ross Ulbricht, the former owner and creator of Silk Road? Because he was just a creator. He made a place for people to buy, sell, trade, and interact in products and services of their choice. It's not his fault that people start to use it for bad. You can use money right now, legal tender, cash, the green stuff, for bad, illicit activities. So you can't necessarily say it's just Bitcoin, XRP, or other digital assets. Because if people want to do bad, they can do bad. And it doesn't have to be with just crypto. They can do bad with money. They can do bad with gold, silver, anything. So the fact that people are trying to tie up any type of illegal, any type of illicit activities with crypto, they're wrong. People do more illegal stuff. People do more illicit stuff with legal tender right now than they do with crypto. The facts is the facts. Moving on. The XDC network is back in the news. Zenfin is transforming the future of business and trade with tokenization. There's that word again, y'all, tokenization. Tokenization is going to be key. Digitization is going to be key. The trade finance sector has about $19 trillion. And with the UK electronic bill that was just implemented not too long ago, maybe September, October, was just implemented not too long ago. And the person that helped create it is a part of the Zenfin network, who gave the suggestion of using the XDC network. And the XDC network has made a partnership with R3 Quarter as its native settlement asset to settle transactions back and forth. Folks, do you see what the end game is? The end game is cross-border payments. The end game is digitization and tokenization. And two tokens right now are able to do that. Right now at this moment, you got the XDC network. Oh, and not to mention the Bank of UAE. UAE actually is going to be potentially implementing our 3/4 settlement platform for cross-border payments. Well, yesterday or the day before yesterday, there was news that UAE just did its first ever cross-border payments with the digital dirham to China by way of the mBridge connection. And the mBridge connection is a part of the Bank of International Settlement. The Bank of International Settlement is a partner for Ripple. So you have those two tokens, XRP and XDC, that will do cross-border payments and other functions. There's utility behind the XRPL. You can now do the first ever what is that? By the what is that? By the Ethereum virtual machine, smart contracts. So you have these two powerhouses. Nobody's really talking about XTC. I feel like XTC is going towards, and we won't know of XTC to be a household name until it's too late. People didn't start knowing about XRP until it did that. What was it? 2 cents to $3.85, and it felt like it happened overnight. This XTC is making a name like XRP made a name for itself during that time. Look at this. Unpacking the power of tokenization, the latest seminar, tokenization for the real world. There's that term again, real world assets, compliance, business, and digital trade. Digital trade alone, 19 trillion. Folks, it's going to be crazy. Moving on. Alrighty, Bitcoin scaling is back in the news. Bitcoin needs to address scaling as ETFs drive momentum. An article from Cointelegraph. Do y'all remember? Now, apparently the Satoshi white paper says something about scaling. I can't remember what it was. It's a short read. But I had a feeling that this was going to come back up. I won't be surprised if there's going to be another hard fork. I don't think that there's going to be a hard fork when it comes to speed and transactions, but somebody's probably going to make another hard fork for Bitcoin just to do it. Because back in 2016, 2017, there was a fight. There was a fight between two entities. There was the Bitcoin developers, and then there was other Bitcoin developers that were feuding back and forth, debating on the scaling issues and the scaling reliabilities. Because at the time, Bitcoin was slow. The fees were high. I mean, the fees are high now. This was before the Bitcoin Lightning Network. So there was going to be another hard fork called Segwit 2x. Segwit 2x, they were arguing, saying that was going to be the real Bitcoin. That was going to be the company that utilizes that particular Bitcoin for Segwit 2x to utilize transactions to make it faster, cheaper, and more reliable within the blink of an eye with a few seconds. Well, they were fighting back and forth, and this is when Bitcoin was about 8K. Like I tell you, like I remember those days. Like Bitcoin was 8K. It was the same year that Bitcoin was. It was the same year that Bitcoin was $800 too. I think that was 2017. And that was when ETH was 75, Litecoin was 25. Those were the days. That was when the moment you put. This was before any of ERC20 tokens were there. This was like right before the ICO boom. And y'all know what happened to the ICO boom. But this was around that time. Well, they were fighting. They were fighting back and forth, saying we're going to go with Segwit 2x, and there was a lot of backing behind it. But then literally at the last minute, that backing literally dwindled. And the moment that backing dwindled, Bitcoin shot up straight to 17K. Like I felt like it happened within minutes. That was when you were getting those large candle wicks, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 wicks within a few minutes. and it didn't go through. Well, we fast forward to a year later, maybe 6 months later, a new hard fork comes out called Bitcoin Cash that was created for scalability, right? And it's considered legal tender in a few places. So, and the this talk comes up about every 3-6 months, Bitcoin scalability, right? They believe that Bitcoin should be faster, cheaper. Well, that's what the Lightning Network is for. It may not, how can I say it? The Bitcoin Lightning Network is doing well right now. It's not doing as well as other developers believe that it was going to do, but it's still doing well. So they're trying to find different ways to scale Bitcoin since ETFs have been driving momentum. And the developers are probably going to come back and say, Bitcoin is fine the way it is. So take in mind, I wouldn't be surprised if we will see another Bitcoin hard fork or someone come out saying, hey, this Bitcoin is better, because it probably will happen. All right, moving on. BlackRock spot Ether ETF decision delayed by SEC. Now, remember, BlackRock has 100% approval rating. So anything that BlackRock puts out, BlackRock gets. So we will see an Ethereum ETF sooner than later. I can guarantee you that. Do I wish it was Litecoin first? Absolutely, because that throws my theory away and I was wrong. Because I had originally said it would be Bitcoin, Litecoin, XRP, and then Ether. But it looks like they're going directly to Ethereum. Look, even though BlackRock CEO Larry Fink said that they're going towards a way of tokenization and digitization, and tokenization and digitization looks like it's going to be on the XDC network and XRP, but that's a whole nother story. So we are going to get an ETF for Ethereum very soon. It could happen as one analyst believes it could happen as early as May. And if it doesn't happen in May, it's going to happen in early January 2025. But the SEC keeps delaying it. We've seen this game. We've played this game before. We know what happens. Eventually, they're going to have to win by way of BlackRock. The SEC is going to lose this because, just like Hester Pierce said from a video that Jack the Rippler posted, the SEC will not be the primary regulator for crypto, and they're dwindling down. And the more and more that they keep delaying and denying other spot ETFs, folks, it's literally easy. They have the paperwork and the framework for these ETFs. All you have to do is just remove the name of Bitcoin and put whatever digital asset that you want on there, and tell who's going to custody it, who's going to do the custodial holds for that digital asset for the new proposal of whatever spot ETF that they're trying to propose. That's all they have to do. And the SEC keeps delaying and denying this decision. Well, here's news for you, SEC. What BlackRock wants, BlackRock gets. And they've made proof of it. So yeah, that's the name of the game. It says the SEC delayed a decision on BlackRock's proposed spot Ether ETF. The delay pushes any decision on the proposed fund to March 10th, according to the official release. So the next decision is March 10th. And I can guarantee you BlackRock is not going to want to wait that long. Eventually, they're going to probably put an appeal. If all it takes is to sue the SEC and then for them to lose to approve multiple spot ETFs, what do you think is going to happen with an Ethereum? Like, it just makes no sense. But all right, y'all, that'll do it for me. If you made it this far, please make sure you hit the like and the subscribe button. It's a free encouragement to support the channel. Looks like the market is down. But I will tell you one thing. If the SEC is losing its power and no longer becoming the primary regulator. And XDC is heading towards tokenization and digitization for $19 trillion worth of money coming in and coming out. And the XRP clawback is taken into effect for CBDCs to be utilized on the XRPL to get refunds and to reverse transactions for accounts that have been sanctioned. And if XRP holders are going to start to make money off of the AMMs for XLS 30, doesn't that tell you that it's no longer if utility, but it's a matter of when utility? All right, y'all, that'll do it for me. Please make sure you hit the like and the follow button. It's a free and great to support the channel. I will see you and everybody else on the next one. Peace.